All right, guys, this is Big Lore from Kern County Foam Flingers, and here is my take on the new Stryfe X. What it means to me as a modder and what it should mean to people wanting to get into short darts. So for me, as a modder, I think it's great. One of the biggest things I come across selling my blasters, because this is how I support my hobby, is I build these blasters and I sell them. I sell them between 100 to 120 bucks. That is without a lipo and without a charger. I do, and this is without a body kit. Let me show you guys the Stryfe I used for Armageddon. It's a short dart Stryfe that I built, but this is the one I used for Armageddon. Right here. And I printed out the bigger battery door. You could see that there. I printed out the cage. What cage is that? I think that's got a 41 millimeter cage in there. What is it? Oh, no. This is aluminum 41.5 worker cage with worker smooth wheels. It's got the worker pusher in it. The short dart, it's a hybrid pusher. It'll actually push long darts and short darts. Worker flip up sights. Of course, worker short dart adapter. It's got the worker Talon mag. But either way, this right here is only putting out about 142, I think 142 FPS. I think the Stryfe X is putting out about 160. I've seen some shots, a couple people putting them over the chrono, and like 162, 163. That's really good for out of the box performance. That's really good. And a lot of people are complaining about the price, but for the price point, I get these Stryfes, I buy them used, modify them, and I sell them between 100 to 120 bucks. Long dart, of course, they're hitting about 140 to like 170 FPS, depending on what you want and what I build, whether it's 2S or 3S. This one, like I said, about 140 or so, 145 FPS. I don't remember the average on this one. And it hits great at that right there. I love it. And this does not include a battery or a charger. I get a lot of people that are afraid to buy these blasters because a lot of people come either from Springers, are new, come from Springers, or they just want a blaster that they could sit there, plug and play. Where Nerf comes in with this, with their short dart Stryfe X, battery charger, that battery has its own built-in LiPo cutoff. You don't have to put a low voltage alarm in there or anything. A lot of that scares people. I know when I was first getting into I've been into tinkering ever since I was a kid. RC, I started doing RC in like 2007, all nitro, then LiPo came out. That was scary at first, but we all know the efficiency of LiPo is just better. So I think for the price, $120, 160 FPS. The only thing I didn't like, of course, some people are complaining about it, is right here. The release is right there. But either way, this release is up in there. If I got to pull it out, it's really no big deal. If you get a Stryfe and you put a short dart adapter, you're reaching in right here to get it. Obviously, I have the Vector body kit on it, but you're still reaching in to pull it out. It's no big deal. 160 FPS for 120 bucks. Now, don't get me wrong. Dart Zone is doing it cheaper with the Omnia. I don't know what just fell off. Oh, my wife's clay. Omnia for 90 bucks, and it's hitting around the same thing. And theirs is Select Fire, 1, triple, or full auto. But me personally, I like the mechanical feel of the semi-auto. There's always a slight delay when you go something that one is fed by a motor and a wheel that hits the dart. I've seen the internals that hits the dart. There's always going to be a slight delay. Me, I like hitting it just like that. So for $120, it's honestly a great deal to have a short dart, 160 FPS Nerf product. The only thing I didn't like were the rails that are on it and no in-strike lug, but I want to get my hands on one, open it up, and see if I could put if a in-strike lug will fit the front. Because the cool thing about the old Stryfe was you can buy the worker rails and they would slide right on. They're using like rival style rails on these ones right here on this new Stryfe X. which I haven't looked. There might be a Picatinny rail that adapts to that for the Nerf Stryfe X, and to use that if you want to use anything Picatinny. It does have where you can attach a stock, which is cool. But seriously, think about it. Say you buy, and I've seen modded blasters go anywhere between, $80 to $180 on Etsy, and they won't guarantee you. I will guarantee you an average. When I build you a Stryfe, I will guarantee you an average. They'll put on their description, they'll put 145 FPS. And they're in that description, they're going to tell you this will hit anywhere between 115 to 145 FPS. That's just the maximum it could hit. If I build you a Stryfe, I'm going to tell you, this is the average. It could hit higher, but you're more than likely going to hit 142, 145 as an average. You could hit 150, you could hit 155. I'm going to give you the average. So to me, it's kind of false. I mean, it's misleading on the ones you buy, but you're paying about 160. I've seen some of those go for 160, 150 with some, wacky paint jobs. I don't paint mine. I just build them and I ship them out as sleepers. And if you want to build it, you could paint it yourself. But I take care of all the electronics, and I take pride in that. My electronics, I solder. I use the best stuff to solder. I use good wire. Everything I use is good. The lower tier builds, the cheaper ones, yeah, I do use Amazon switches and stuff like that. But either way, I've never had an issue with them. I will not sell junk. But that's besides the point. That's not me. But the Stryfe X, for the price, with the battery and the charger, I think it's great. A lot of people are going to complain it's not. For modders, no, I could build something just like that for about $60 with the Stryfe, maybe even less. I could build it, not have any issue. I already have LiPo batteries, I already have a LiPo charger, I already have LiPo cutoffs. I don't use cutoffs. Like I said, I was in RC before. I kind of know how long they'll last on a motor. The batteries will last on the motor. I know all this stuff. I don't need a LiPo cutoff. Armageddon, I used the 3S on my 3S build. Didn't have a LiPo cutoff in mine. When I got home, I still had plenty of voltage. I knew the limits of mine, which was great. But if you're on the fence about it, based off the video I seen from Out of Darts, I think it's a good deal. It is Talon compatible. They didn't say it was Talon compatible, but another guy did say it was Talon compatible. He had a Tachi 29 round Tachi mag in his. It was compatible. So I think you guys did a good job, Nerf, on this one. You took forever, but I think you did a good job on it. And I think you're going to get a lot of people into it for the fact that it comes with the battery and the charger. And that scares a lot of people off is the battery, how to use it, LiPo cutoff. This is just a plug and play, slap it on, boom, 160 FPS on short darts. So good job, Nerf. And that's my take on the new Stryfe X. Kern County Foam Flingers, Lorenzo, Big Lore, out.